Welcome, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. Once again, Chamber of Commerce weather. We are racing back-to-back. What an awesome week we had last week. Thanks to the drivers that showed up. Thanks to the fans that showed up. Got us the season kicked off. It was an awesome night. Everything worked really well. Had an incident in the concession stand that we got that worked out. And I'll tell you what, folks, here in a little bit, those of you that are joining us on not only on the radio station, but those of you who are joining us on our YouTube channel on KCSI, I need you to look over my left shoulder here in a little bit. I'll point it out. You're going to have a nice new surprise going around the track here. We're going to spot that out, point it out to you so you can see it. Something we're real excited about. I think it got several of us excited Thursday night during work night when we got to see that. So anyway, welcome folks to Pitside Live. I'm Cliff Baldwin. To my left is Evan Baldwin. To my right is Cole Hendrickson. So welcome, guys. We're racing, and let's get this thing going about 10 in a row. What do you say?
First thing I do want to say is on YouTube, I apologize for the poor connection. I'm not really sure what's going on with our Wi-Fi here. For the past couple weeks, it's kind of been kind of laggy. So it's kind of going on and off. So if you are watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Sorry for the buffering, but feel free to comment, ask us a question. It makes the show a lot easier when you guys ask us questions and we have stuff to talk about. So don't be afraid to ask a question. But yeah, we're going to have a nice special appearance of a new rig going down the front stretch here. As you can see also in the background of the YouTube channel, the flag stand has a brand new wrap on it, and we also have a new Victory Lane banner this week. So brand new sponsor on board with us this year, Always Race Day, Chris Williams. He was one of the ones that used to work for KMA and did some announcing for us
on the radio show.
On the radio show. So Always Race Day. He does a podcast. That's what the Always Race Day actually is. So a cool Victory Lane banner. Going to be great for new pictures and stuff like that.
Four webcasts, believe it or not.
So yeah, racetrack's looking really good. We had quite a bit of rain on Monday. I think we had about another 2 inches of rain. So infield was an absolute disaster again, but we got that thing torn back up. And I'll tell you what, I think we've had enough rain for the next month at least. So if Mother Nature, if you're listening, enough with the rain. We don't need it anymore.
The farmers want it once in a while, so they need it.
We don't need it here. So
yeah, it's
Cole, what do you think?
I'm just ready to go. I've been watching racing all day, so just ready to watch more. But after last week, it was exciting. Saw some good racing. Like you said, the track looks good. They got that water truck out there putting in some work. So just excited to see what shakes out. The pits are filling in, so just ready to get the night going.
Night number 2 on the season. We had a really good one last week. It went a lot better than I thought it was going to. We didn't really have a lot of huge issues, knock on wood, tonight. Hopefully everything goes smooth again tonight. I was really worried about the racetrack last week just because of all the rain that we had. It hadn't been raced on in 6 months. We didn't really know how well it was going to hold up, if it was going to, rut up or how wet it was underneath the surface. We didn't really have an idea of how much water to put on it, and believe it or not, we actually had dust coming up during the heat races.
Yeah, and our spot sprayer, which is our floater, broke down on us. So
for the 65th time.
Yeah, so that'll be the surprise to see. We've got all those things alleviated. So that was the only thing about last week too. That, like you said, the track was awesome. The front stretch dust was a little disappointing, and that could have been knocked down if we had the spot sprayer, but we didn't have it. So, but otherwise, I agree with you. I thought for sure, first race of the season, it's hard to hammer these things out real well until the season gets going, and I thought it would rut up too, but it stayed smooth all night.
Our drivers have been pretty spoiled the last couple of years, I think, with track conditions. Yeah. Logan does a really good job, and I've been learning a lot too with it throughout the week, and Jacob's been helping too this year, and my fiance has been helping a lot too. So it does take a lot of hours, but it's something where this track is just so hard to manipulate at times, and sometimes we don't really know how much water is actually underneath the surface. If you actually probably get down underneath there, it's just like chocolate pudding. But the top, we try to get it as solid as possible, and we try to get it as hard as we can to where we can make it a little bit more easily manipulated. It's just such a big racetrack, and it takes a lot of time to water it correctly and sheep's foot it and box blade it takes a lot of manpower and a lot of hours. So,
well, an example is Monday we had 2.5 inches of rain. I came up here Wednesday afternoon. Ryan had already been down here driving, and I drove around this track, and it was dry as a bone because how it worked out was they had it sealed off. It was sealed off smooth, no holes, and the rain just rolled right off of it. It didn't soak in so much, so that helped immensely.
Makes a huge difference when we leave it from Saturday, leave it sealed. Right. And the number one thing that I've learned is when there's chances of rain earlier in the week, do not touch the thing. You got to make sure it stays sealed in order to kind of reflect or deflect the water that's coming down to the racetrack. Because if you start tearing it up and you start getting those sheep's foot holes in it, then it really starts soaking in the moisture and getting really, really wet. So a couple other things we're working on right now, bottom of 1, bottom of 3. We're trying to figure out some easier ways to get some of that standing water down there to roll down into the infield and get to that tile line. I think Josh and Logan have some sort of an idea of what we're going to do here in the next couple weeks. We're going to have to tear out some of the infield there on the bottom of 1, bottom of 3, trying to get some of that moisture to not sit there because it's such a low spot right there, and all that water that comes off of turn 1 and comes off of turn 3, it just sits right there and can't get to that tile line. So we're trying to figure that out right now. I'm really happy the way the infield turned out. The infield 2 days ago was a disaster. I mean, it was really, really wet. So got that thing dried out, got it tore up, got it laid back down. So it should be a good night of racing. I'm just excited, man, with this new rig we got. I'll just say it. We got a brand new water truck. It's not brand new, but it's new to us. It's an '08 Peterbilt. It's got 6 valves on it. It starts and stops on. It's all air pressure. So it starts and stops on a dime. Whenever Logan wants it turned on, he turns it on. Whenever it comes off, it turns off, and
it moves.
It's very very, very nice to have a water truck that is reliable because
starts up when you turn.
We've had unreliable equipment around here for years. So
we've worked on stuff so long, and it's just frustrating. And you get after a while, you get tired of doing that. So anyway, enough about that. Tonight is Owens Collision and Restoration Night, so thank them very much. Out of Clarinda, Iowa. We got Owens is out of Clarinda here. He races weekly. His son won last week, but they're sponsoring tonight's show, Owens Collision and Restoration Night. Welcome aboard. Hopefully one of them will be up here. They're going to try to get up here before the show's over so we can interview them. But last week was our Corns Royal. Finally got it in. So, our first annual, we hope. We call it the Corns Royal. Thank you to Busch Light. But anyway, a little synopsis of last week. Like you said, I think it was a great week. I think we had 87 cars.
I think 87.
I know of 6 cars that weren't here that usually will be here. A couple were here last week that'll hit us and miss, of course. But I tell you what, the compact feature wasn't a lot of movement in some of them. But I tell you what, there's a good class of cars. I think we had 20. What do we have? 21? Can't remember what we had.
17.
Total. I think we had over 20, didn't we? So
I think we had 20, but I think some actually didn't start the feature.
Yeah, we had 3 DNSs, so ready to start. But anyway,
so we did have 20.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a good field. A lot of returning guys here. Cooper Owen kind of had him covered last week. It really did. I know we had a couple of yellows there, and I think it was Dustin Shepard had a really good restart on him there, but Cooper got right back around him there, and that steeled the show. It was over with by then. But good to see Owen Richards back with us. Some new guys, not really new, but Steven, is it Prusia? I'm not sure.
We're going with Prusia.
Prusia. Okay, we didn't ask him. Sorry.
You were saying Prusia, but I'm guessing it's Prusia.
Yeah. We told if there's any of his family or fans in the stands that knows how to pronounce it, come up to the announcer's booth, but we didn't see anybody. So
we're one of those racetracks that we want to make sure we get the pronunciations right. We don't want to just butcher everybody's name and then just have everybody mad at us. So if you do know that guy and he's a new guy to the racetrack, make sure that we're pronouncing it right. But I'm going to guess it's
for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're pronouncing a last name wrong, come up and let us know.
Usually they're waving at you or screaming at you, right? So it's like It's Avila, not Avila. I said, well, we well know that. Believe me, that's what I get frustrated. I go to the track. It's like, okay, I've had the Avila family here in town forever, and it's not Avila. So that always cracks me up when you go to the tracks and hear that anyway. But one that surprised me was Jacob Ducky Best racing out there last week. Jacob's been on our board here for a long time, and I didn't really even know he was racing. So it's kind of funny.
I talked to him Thursday night. He was pretty frustrated with the car. That thing, for some reason, he was just like, he just kept calling it a piece of crap, wouldn't get up to speed, and hopefully, I told him, I said, it looks like you were just out there on the highway, just cruising around.
Cruising. Yeah.
So
he kept her on 4 wheels. That's the main thing. So
another strong field of compacts this year, race fans. We got a lot of guys that have been racing here for a while now, and we've got former track champions in the field and a lot of younger guys that are starting to get really, really good. I mean, Cooper Owens, God, how old is he? 16, 15?
I do believe, I think he's 16, isn't he?
He can wheel a compact.
Yep.
He's a good driver. He ended the season last year with a win, started the season this year with a win, so he's going to be a tough guy to beat. We know John Berg's tough. You've got the Steiner crew down there. You've got Tyler Hoover. A lot of guys down there that can win. So compacts are going to be good field of cars this year. I would expect probably we're going to have some hit or miss guys. It seems like every year that we have 4 or 5 guys that try something new, and a lot of these compact guys, I tell them, it's like, well, if you actually want to go fast, come down to the Corning. So I'm looking forward to the compact class this year. I know we get a lot of fans in the stands that are part of compact fans. So the compact guys, they bring a lot of people to the Speedway, and we appreciate that. So
another class that we'll talk about real quickly, because I know our first guest is going to come upstairs, our B mods, which is currently our. I'm just looking down.
RJ Plumbing and Heating.
Yeah, I'm just looking behind me. They're working on the track. It kind of surprised me there a second. So
no, we're trying to get that. To get that hole filled in. So
yeah, our RJ Plumbing and Heating, B Modified's our new sponsor this year, right here locally. Thank them very much for joining us. But it was a great race last week. Another great field of cars in our B mods. Our guest coming up here, Josh Most, had him covered last week pretty good. Bryce Allen made it here, especially first night since the farming's kind of heavy right now. So, but Sean Kralik, Josh Shank, Davis Swartz, Hunter Post, and Evan Davis, Kirk McKay, a lot of repeats here. Normal guys that are here. We've got a few new guys showing up, but what a nice, strong field of cars we're going to have again this year. Great to see the numbers. I think we had 22, I do believe, that we had. But
yeah.
So anyway,
no, it was. I thought it was a pretty solid race. It was kind of a race for second. Josh kind of ran away with it once he got the lead, so had the car set up good. But yeah, pretty solid racing behind him there for the top 3. And I believe, I don't know if it tells us positions gained there, but
I think it's over here. 4.
Oh yeah,
4.
Yeah, somebody that sticks out is Sean Kralik, but he always does that. Always comes up through the field slowly but surely, and before you know it, he's sitting in the top 3 at the end of the race. So another guy that to look at was Josh Sink. I think that was probably his best run in a while. So I know he said he probably needed a little bit more horsepower, but he has the little engine that could, and ran pretty well up in 4th there.
Yeah,
so.
2 biggest movers, Austin Hardis, he moved up 12 spots, started in last place, and moved up to 10th, which is
he had a little MSD box mishap in the heat race, had to start in the tail. So
and David Swartz moved up 6 spots, finishing 5th, started 11th, so another good run by the Flying Farmer. Hunter Poston had a kind of struggle. He raced really well around, and I can't remember what he had some issues there.
Yeah, I talked to him after the race. He said he was struggling with a little bit of drive off the corner. Like at the beginning of the race, he was pretty quick and just didn't have the setup where they needed it. So I think he said they threw the kitchen sink at it this week. So we'll see what he can do.
One thing I do see in this class is a lot of youth. There is a lot of young guys in this class this year. One thing that stood out to me is a lot of first-year, second-year drivers, and that's good for the sport. It's good to see that there's some kids out there that are willing to step into a sport mod and move up the ranks a little bit. You got the Parrott brothers racing with us this year. Appreciate them coming up. I know.
Damian Haas,
I know Damian Haas is another rookie. Ryan Christie's a rookie. Dalton Davis is in his second year. Dominic Sexton, he didn't start. He had some car trouble, but he's moved back to a B mod. Braxton Van Gelder's in his pretty much second year. Then you've got another Hardesty. Darren Hardesty is a rookie. So there's a lot of youth, and there's going to be a lot of learning that's going to happen here in the first month or so of the season with those guys in the back. And I thought they did a really, really good job of maintaining their car, making sure that they're not bringing out unnecessary caution flags. I asked Josh in his interview, I'm like, how many sport mod races have you raced where there's been one caution? And not very many. There's not very many racetracks that you go to where the sport mod race seems to be one of the ones that has the most caution flags. I don't know whether it's just the quality of the driver. I have no idea why that is.
Well, I think a lot of it is I mean, if you think about it, it's a stepping stone class.
It's an entry-level class.
Most guys want to go to the A-mods, and that's where you got to start. Well, I mean, you don't have to. You could just be like Jesse Dennis and go straight into the A-mods, but most guys traditionally, they'll go.
A lot of people can't afford to do that.
Yeah, they'll start in the B-mod and then go up into the A-mod whenever they feel comfortable. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. We're going to take our first break so we can get our first guest on here while we're talking about the RJ and Plumbing and Heating B-Mods. We're going to take our first break and get to our first guest. So we'll be right back with you very shortly. And no, we won't, because I've got to re-log in to do the commercial break. So go right ahead and talk. Well, I do this again. I got to get.
I told him before the show started that
I've been doing it.
That we need to make sure you get into a habit of clicking the refresh button.
I have, and it doesn't like me.
Well, one quick thing I noticed, I see we got our pylon stakes down there in the corner.
Yeah,
now.
I put them in the old breakaways.
I like the red and white vibe. It's giving me that old NASCAR vibe.
The old Winston vibe.
The old weekly, the Winston Weekly Series vibe down there with the red and white.
It's more of a of an aesthetic thing, really. It's just
we can't do lung darts anymore.
I mean, we just kind of put them in there just as a visual thing. We try to push tires back a little bit because we know, especially in the open wheel guys, tires screw up a lot of race cars. So push those tires in a little bit. Just keep the breakaway sticks there. Hopefully, guys don't break them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that our next. Hey, hi. What do you say, folks? We take our first commercial break.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah, Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels, giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside live here down at County Speedway. Yes, we are live again for our second week in a row. Welcome for you joining us on KCSI Radio out of Red Oak, Iowa, along with our KCSI YouTube channel. Our first guest, Josh Most, out of Red Oak, Iowa. So you're very well attuned to KCSI
Yep,
radio.
long haul.
Yeah, right. Well, 34. Get a little repair job over there right now. So.
Yeah, it was pretty mellow today.
Yeah, because we went through this morning. They had to go to a graduation in Glenwood, and they were working, but didn't have the road, one laned anyway. So getting quite an overhaul there in town.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, jeez. So you guys got trucks over there. You guys don't get to be involved in that, though, do you? Right?
Oh no,
no rock hauling or nothing like that.
Not on that deal.
No,
we're busy enough the way it is. I guess. I mean, I try to be busy on the race car side. This last week, my dad had surgery. So.
Oh really?
So yeah, he had some pretty intensive surgeries there.
This week?
Yeah. No, he went in on let's see here, Wednesday. This last week, and he's there now. He'll be out maybe on Thursday.
Because he raced last week, didn't he?
Yep. That was his last hoorah. He didn't know how it was going to go, so he just.
Oh, so you're going to be racing it all this year, probably?
No, he won't be driving a truck for minimum of. They told me he's not going to do anything for like 8 weeks.
Oh,
so I'm going to help try to maintain his trucking deal and still do race car stuff. And I had a kid on Monday night, and. So I've had plenty on my plate. Everybody's like, why aren't you racing tonight? I was like, well, there's a lot going on. And, all week long it was get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, go trucking and do race car stuff.
Had a kid Monday?
Yep, Monday night.
Well, congratulations.
So, yep, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, congratulations.
And quick recovery to your dad. I hope everything's going to go good with him. So
yeah, he's just real sore. So he'll be sore for a while now.
Yeah.
But, and baby's home. I got another little girl.
Yep.
Gracie. So we got 2 little girls now. I got a 2-year-old and now a newborn. So hopefully in a few years, maybe we'll decide if we're going to do a go-kart deal for a while or just kind of throw the ropes at them when they're young enough to get in.
We're doing the same thing right here.
Well, hopefully
we're going to get that going too.
Hopefully there's going to be a go-kart track here before long.
Get it going, so that's our project.
I remember how much work that was. I'm not really looking forward to that. Good times, but they were for something small. They're really finicky. So the maintenance on them things are quite a bit if you want to win a lot.
And you have to make them competitive, right? I mean, you don't want your kid losing.
No. I mean, especially when you get to that point, you're going to spend way more than what you did. I know my dad used to race down here a long time ago, and when he got rid of the modified stuff, went go-kart racing, it was way more than what he ever spent when he raced.
So, do you ever, I know I deal with him, do you ever have a deal where you get told, or you just have to say, this isn't 1990 anymore, or 1980 or whatever. This is 2024. You get things change, time change. I'm like, absolutely. I know. And expenses have gone through the roof on everything.
That part's just crazy, and it's making it harder and harder to get guys to come back every week. I mean, you still have, like in the business line of it, you got your guys that are still going to spend whatever it takes to go. They're falling off, but they're still going to spend what you do. And you got quite a few low budget guys, your beginners, like, Damian Haas got a car for me. It was kind of sitting around. I was like, perfect starter car, got him into it about as cheap as you could get. Hopefully doesn't wreck it and can just learn. And like I told him, like I tell everybody, just go out there and make laps. I don't care if you're on top, bottom, middle, just try to stay in line. And you might get lapped, you might not, but if you get lapped, just keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine.
Seat time's important.
Yep, absolutely.
So, Josh, yourself, you've already mentioned all the things you do. We talked about a little bit last week about you. I know Cole, said hot shoe where you can wheel about anything there is, that's for sure. Because I had mentioned that, Jay Burdick, talked with him a lot. He helps us out immensely with the SLMR series. But he had mentioned to me that there's a good possibility you might be driving his late model here. Is that a possibility?
I mean, anything's possible. I got to the point where 3 years ago I had a stroke. I let all my stuff go. And, I sat back a little bit and didn't race a whole lot. And then it's just so hard. That's why you see all these guys that quit. It's so hard to get back in it. Everything, the expense that you don't think about if you let something go to buy it. I mean, like a B-Mod gear, you used to be able to buy them for $350. Now you go to Fast Shaft or Speedway and they're $700 plus. I mean, it's just everything is just so far out of hand. So once you let things go, it's hard to get back in. And luckily I've raced a little bit of everything. I've been successful for the most part in about everything I've been in. So I've tried to mellow out a little bit to where people get a little bit more comfortable with me driving their stuff, So,
hey, if you want to win, they put you in the dang seat, by God. So, last year I think did you drive one of Rick's cars last year?
Yep.
At the sprint car race. So.
Yep. We did
Well, yeah, you did because it was exciting.
Well, yeah. The racetrack definitely wasn't in favor. And then his stuff was older stuff. He upgraded stuff, even last year a little bit. And then like that sprint car deal, I just harped on him all the time. I was like, man, we need brakes. We need better brakes. And, I mean, most people, I say that about even a B-mod. Everybody's like, oh, you don't need brakes. It's a B-mod. I'm like, I guarantee you, I might look like I'm wide open all the way around there, but I bet, yeah, I'm using more brakes than what anybody else is. I drove Jared's car one time at a practice deal at the beginning of the year. I went out and turned, I don't know, 5-8 laps, whatever the practice deal was, and the rear brakes were on fire when I come in. And Jared's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, just doing what I do. He's like, I've never had that happen.
A little bit of rear steer.
Yeah, it's just, I stay on the throttle probably a little longer than what some people do. And like I tell everybody, you got Bobby Pierce out there winning late model races that's wide open, drives around the cushion or blows it in wherever. You got Billy Moyer who go in, slow and smooth and come off fast. So, it's just a cup of tea of whatever you like to do. Me, I guess, everybody, calls me Mr. Excitement just because I'm going to probably be one of the guys that drive it in there about wide open.
You are a throttle masher.
Yeah, last week, on that restart, Hunter didn't do anything wrong. Did a perfect start, and I just knew what I had to do was I had more gear in than Sink did, and we talked after the heat race. He's like, dude, I'm murdering the chip. I don't know how you're doing it. And I was like, it ain't my motor, and it don't sound good. I can tell you that. So I asked Kyle and his dad, I was like, hey, this is your stuff. How hard do you want me to run it? And they go, run it. Go win if you can win. And
ball to the wall.
I drove in so hard on the chip there, and then I tried to, I slid up, but there was plenty of room, and I thought I left plenty of room, and I didn't hear no complaint about it, and it kind of made it look exciting, I guess.
Yep.
And I would really like to have racetracks like that, like the sprint car deal. You get guys that drive in and blow it across the racetrack, do slide jobs. Some people don't like it. I'm a big fan of it if you do it with respect. The first time I do it, I'm going to make it in there far enough. I might not come back out ahead of you, but I'm going to make it in there far enough. You got plenty of room to decide where you're going to go. After that, it might get a little closer.
Yep, some guys are good
Don't
at it.
Don't pull a Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing.
Yeah, Cannon McIntosh, the Chili Bowl.
Last year, that was old history. But, it stunk with the run out of gas stuff with so many guys. But it sure made it exciting at the end because that's what everybody in this whole stand, you could hear them roaring.
Everybody was cheering when they let you go back out and refuel your car and go back out.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. So, but yeah, it was a neat deal. But we have a wing sprint this year. We have J Series. Is there a chance you might be in one of those cars? Do you have any ideas or thoughts on that? Or?
Well, the problem with that deal is everything that I do for Rick's deal is like 410 stuff. It's a run what you brung deal. So. That deal's a 360 deal with the wing. I used to do a 305 deal with Rick, and we did it a few times, and it's a money game, honestly. Anytime you put, like I did it in go-karts, when they put a tire rule in or any rule they incorporate, it sounds like a great idea, but then it splits the field up with a guy that spends more money like that 305 deal. The guy that spends the most money and puts the lightest car together that'll just barely pass, and rotating weight to fuel injection. The best thing, you're gonna gain all your positions right there because then after that you're just wide open. You got a big wing on it. It's hard on motors. There's a lot of scenarios in that. I'm not a big fan of wing deal. I would like to put a wing on and go do some stuff, but you can chuck out a motor pretty quick.
So, do you get offers every so often? Because I know you've gone to the Chili Bowl a lot. Now, do you usually drive for somebody down there?
Yeah, that's my dad's car. That's our deal for the midget deal, and it's just so hard to do that. We actually went down to US 36 this spring and went down there, and I don't know. The motor ended up breaking the camshaft and rock arms and stuff, and I called around, and it's where you start and where you stop. I called the guy to overhaul it. He's like, it didn't have very many nights on it. He's like, oh, it's going to be a minimum of $9,500 to overhaul that thing. And so you're looking at $10,000, and like that deal, he's like, well, you don't race very much. Them Hondas run pretty good for the money. I was like, well, what's one of them? Oh, $42,000. I was like, well, if you're going to spend $42,000, why wouldn't you buy a Stanton or a Mopar deal? And he's like, well, you got a good point. I go, well, yeah. Well, how much is one of them? Oh, 50 to 55. I was like, okay. So then if you get that deep, why wouldn't you just do a Toyota because it's a dominant deal? And he's like, well, yeah, them are about 60 to 62. And it's like, but those things don't blow up. And that's what's kind of ruined that sport to where it's a Keith Kuntz Toyota program. Yep. There's some guys that can outrun them. I ain't saying you can't, but it makes it really, really tough.
Holy cow!
Cole and I watch a lot of these traveling series and we watch all kinds of races, and I feel like a lot of it is just it's just you've got 2 or 3 guys that are just way ahead of everybody else, and it's just I feel like sometimes it just ruins a sport sometimes because it's just everything just gets so technical with the rules and with the tire packages and with the droop rule and all this stuff. It's like it's just so if you are off by that much,
Yes.
you're out to lunch.
Yes. That's nice about like that sport mod deal. I mean, yeah, it shows when you're off and on, like Kyle Tanner's car. I mean, that was literally, it wasn't obviously the duct tape numbers that my niece put on there, but
The 9Z?
The 9Z, but I mean, it wasn't quite ready to go, but
It looked good.
yeah, I mean, if you do your homework, and that's one thing about it. I don't pump big number of cars out there. I still have cars to do. People will still get them. I probably, just like that, I mean, had no doubts in my mind when I went to the racetrack. I mean, you guys, everybody that was here, probably tell in the hot laps, first laps, it was just wide open. I mean, I trust everything we do 110%, and it works. And, but that class, I mean, that's what's nice about it is, the motor packages, it's kind of gotten out of hand too. You used to be able to buy a 602 crate motor for $3,400. Now they're $7,000. Well, if you're going to spend $7,000, a lot of us, that's why we call like, you have somebody build one for $5 or $6, or you can call John and, they're $8,000 or so. I mean, but you can get them worked on. I mean, you get a oil pan knocked off because you run over a tire or somebody's lead. It's like $1,500 on a crate now by the time you get them resealed.
That's right.
Just crazy. Like you said, you build cars.
Yep.
Do you do a lot? You're not full time in anything like going for point championships and stuff like that anymore, right?
No,
Really?
I mean, you really just got to have that mindset of point racing, and I know like Bryce, he's wanting to step back. I mean, for farming, trying to farm more. He's got girls getting older. I mean, just like everybody. I mean, just like you seen Brad Berger, and he's got kids that are doing sports and stuff. You try to go do stuff with them while you can at that age.
Yep.
And it hurts the sport, and it just makes it tough, I guess, for the most part.
It's family, and and the kids love coming here. I know Brad does, and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
and like Bryce, he's gonna point race. Like I gave him a hard time. He's like, "Oh, way to go, you won, you beat me." I was like, "You're still leading the points." He's like, "No, you're leading the points." I'm like, "I'm not gonna be here." If things would have went right, I felt like I tried to really get Kyle to race that car, and he didn't feel comfortable first night out. There's $25,000 on the line next week. Not saying we're gonna win it.
Right.
I feel like we could be competitive, but it's racing. I really wanted him to come here and run it, and he just said he wasn't comfortable. He'd rather see me do it. So I got in it, and, we ran it, and he took it Friday night close to him. I mean, he lives in Blair now, so it's harder for him to come here when versus running in Fontenelle. So, I mean, he raced last night, but, the man hours it takes to get a toter ready to go to a 3-day deal, which is actually going to be a 4-day deal because they're having practice tomorrow, and try to get the car ready and make sure you have everything right. I mean, he's confident in the car, but it's so much more work, tires, everything,
Where I was going at on that is like, meaning you're not going to be here committed and all that, but you have situations where you got cars you're building, but you'll have guys obviously call you all the time and ask for advice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's times when they say, "Hey, can you come and shake this car down or come and look?" Or I mean, they usually do that, don't they?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
You're obviously willing to do that.
I actually have a guy taking a new car out tonight in Harlan. His first night out. He's going to that Spencer deal too, and he's like, "You're not coming to watch me?" I'm like, "No, you'll be all right." He's raced for like 25 years. I'm like, "You're all right."
Who is it?
Red Munson.
Oh, yeah, Brandon.
Brandon Munson.
Yep.
So, I mean, I was like,
He's been racing long enough.
oh, yeah.
Oh, my word, yeah.
This should be a cakewalk. I was like,
on.
I got my phone on me. It'll blow up. As soon as basically hot laps are on right now, which is nice. That's why I really like to strive, when I do go race. My wife usually goes a lot. If not, my dad's always there usually. And, I mean, this year will be tough. I mean, my dad won't be able to get around as much, and having 2 little kids, it'll be a handful, especially go to the pits with 2 kids and stuff. So, but usually somebody watches my phone if I'm racing. As soon as I get out, they tell me, which does pull away from it. It makes it harder.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks my side's so easy, not trying to complain about it, but there's a lot more. I'd rather see my customers win. Like, I'd rather seen Josh Sink win last week or Bryce Allen,
All you had to do was let off the throttle.
Yeah. Honestly, when I seen the 16 on the board, I mean, I've raced long enough. I can look over at that board and I seen 16 in second. I'm like, oh boy, here he comes. I'm like,
Nah, he wasn't catching you.
Oh, that's what he said. But lap times were pretty good. I mean, me and him, after he got his rhythm, I mean, he's in a new car too. So, I mean, everybody gets comfortable. I mean, and some people adapt faster, I mean, even if you have the same car, like Josh's got the same car, I think he's got better stuff going on now. Just a little bit better program where he's comfortable with. You're going to see him running a little bit better and get better. And
yeah. People are commenting on here, asking questions about how many cars you've raced and everything like that and everything, and how hard is it to actually adjust the driving style to different. Not only, I mean, you don't have to adjust your driving style to this racetrack because this racetrack you race more than anything.
It's home. Yeah.
But I'm talking like when you go down to a Chili Bowl or you race hop into a late model or you hop into an A mod or anything like that.
I mean, the nice part is when you get to a point and you're on good stuff, it's easier to adapt. Like from day one, before Ricky got as big as he was, me and Ricky are good friends, text each other. He sold a ton of pole bars for me. I tell everybody, you always get your people that win races. I don't care if it's your locals like Jesse Dennis down here. You're going to get your people that are like, oh, he's cheating, he's winning all kinds of races. No, there's just certain people like Ricky. I called it from day one that Ricky has a natural knack of talent to adapting. I mean, he ran in Arizona or California getting a non-wing sprint car, won his first race out.
Right.
And, I mean, there's certain people that adapt very quickly and very well. And there's some people that'll win a ton of races, but it takes them 5 nights.
It takes a lot of talent, too. I mean, you – when I think of you, I think of exactly guys like Ricky Thornton Jr., guys that can literally sit in a race chair and race anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of that has to do with not only talent, but it has to do with feel and I don't know. I think it's just God-given talent myself, but
yeah. There's a lot of locals around here that think. I mean, Justin Zeitner thinks a lot of me. He thinks I'm a good wheel. I mean, he is a very good wheel too. But and I see it with other people. Not just talking about myself, but there's people that like me. I stayed in go-karts too long. I was too old when I moved out of it to come here and race. And I have my ups and downs when I got in an old. And that's the difference. Being in an old, I had an old GRT late model. It was a handful to drive. And as soon as we bought a car, which was an old Rocket from Kyle Burke, it was laying out in his weeds, and it was just a better piece, and I started winning races. And when you got nice equipment, it's easier to adapt and go for it. But there's people that don't have the funding, or they get too old, or just not the right connections. And I mean, that's why the Chili Bowl, I mean, especially all you guys who watch that deal, it's all about connections. And I remember, honest truth, Kyle Larson was down there with his dad, and they were in practice, and he barrel rolled that thing down the front stretch, bent the frame, and his dad says, well, now you can sit here all week and watch. I mean, which Kyle was pretty young. I mean, I'm older than he is. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm getting pretty old. And next year he come back with Keith Kuntz's stuff and won the thing. So, I mean, it's not that he wasn't capable of winning in their own stuff, but, I mean, look at the doors that opened up for him just being in that connection with the Toyota deal and Keith, and it opens doors where the right people or the right sponsors come along, and it's a big deal. That's why everybody down here, I mean, sponsors is a big deal for all these guys, and I know it's harder and harder for businesses or, whether it be family or farmers or anybody spending money trying to help these guys every week, but it's a big deal.
I say that a lot. We appreciate our sponsors. I tell sponsors that if you can't, deal with us, I said don't hesitate to sponsor a race car, because you guys need the sponsorship just as much as everybody does. I mean, and it's a great way of sponsoring your vehicle, and now that social media is getting hot and heavy, and we're going to get more involved in it. We have 5 races for sure that'll definitely be broadcast, but we're going to experiment some other stuff. But, man, the social media, that's the way it is. And you can get great exposure.
Now.
You can get great exposure for your sponsorship.
Absolutely.
So and I tell you what, we've already mentioned that you drove the B-Mod. Your chassis is pretty much dominant right here, and
it's one of the dominant ones.
You talk about how, you support what you sell, and, you're always a phone call away or already here, so.
Yep.
But anyway, appreciate you so much coming on board doing this show with us tonight. It's always good to talk with you. I feel you're a great ambassador to Adams County Speedway. Like you've already said, it's your home track. We feel that way too, and we love having you whenever you can come. So could you make it more exciting? And, you put on a good race.
I've got one question before you leave, because I'm just curious. So this shocker, your phone rings.
Yeah.
This A mod that you built.
Yep.
So did you mirror this after anything?
No, so the funny story about that deal was real quick.
Because first of all, I watched it. Where was Justin racing it at? Is it Stewart?
Yeah, probably Stewart.
Oh my God, that thing was fast.
Yeah. Well, him getting comfortable and stuff in it, it's helped to getting a few nights in it and just the faith in it. I mean, it's been good right out of the box. But, Justin come over and I had a new car sitting there. It was a little bit different, and he's kind of looking at it because he used to have one, and then he went to a GRT. And, we've always gotten along. You leave on good graces, you can come back on good graces. It's pretty simple. I mean, have a little respect. I mean, racing's like a family, So you got to do it with a little respect. It's everybody's money. You can come and go as you please. And so he come over and he liked some ideas, and he's like, what are your thoughts on doing an A-mod? And I was like, well, I'd like to, but we need to change more than what we got. I mean, not saying I couldn't win races. I mean, I won races in it. I had a few customers and won races in A-mods, but you really had to hustle them. And the times of that, I mean, it's too hard to be consistent getting up on the wheel that hard, hustling all the time to make it work. So you got to get something that works all the time. And so me and Justin bounced some ideas off, and I listened to him, and we kind of butted heads quite a bit. And when we had a whole rear kick done on it, and I'm like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And then next thing you know, he took a tape measure to something. I mean, I'm sure it was late model, and he called back. He's like, how wide is that? And I'm like, told him, I was like, too wide. Why? Here's the measurement. And he's like, yeah, that's not going to work. Cut that back off. And I'm like, yep, okay. But yeah, that new car, which Bryce has one, Kyle Tanner has one, and then Justin. That's, Justin's car, which is him and my dad. I mean, Justin is like the son my dad never had. I mean, he actually probably spends more time with my dad than I do. They go coyote hunting all the time together. They do just different things. Me, the racing is a 24/7 deal. So Justin gets some relaxing time, and they go night hunting, coyote hunting, and do stuff like that where I don't do it. So it's kind of a relationship with both of them, and did that A-mod deal. And plan was to race it a lot. I mean, Justin was really wanted that thing here the first night, but with his car wreck and not being able to race. I mean, I understand. I mean, everybody's got to understand that. You got to take care of yourself.
How long we looking, you think?
Actually, he said he's doing a lot better. His eyes were doing the flutter deal a little bit, I think, yesterday. He said he was going to try to go to I-90 and see how it shook out. He said worst comes. He really wanted somebody to drive. I mean, when you get those deals just like my stroke, you try not to focus on any one thing all the time. And the racing, you're focusing, but something's always moving. So you're not just on one thing. So he's like, I really wish I'm pretty sure he wanted me to come drive his hauler up and back, but he knows everything I'm doing, and had guys down here, and I need to be close to home, and we're all gonna take off and go to Spencer either tonight or in the morning. But he wanted to be here. That car will be here. I just don't know how quick. Hopefully after this deal, if Justin, he's got money in it. So if he says, hey, you need to take that there next week. I mean, if I'm not sprint car racing, I haven't got that out yet. And I mean, we're chomping at the bit at that deal. Rick spent a bunch of money, and really we're wanting to hit it hard. So we'll see what the schedule is. I mean, I could race that sprint car about 150 nights from now until the end of the year. So I could. There's plenty of races to go to. It's
I know you love driving a sprint car. So
yeah, it's just my Nakati. It reminds me, that non-wing deal reminds me of the old modified racing down here, where I mean, you guys had to give and take. You seen guys, go out there, burn tires off, slow down, get in a groove, and then take back off. Like I tell everybody, I mean, that class, I venture to see it grow. Just because the modified thing we got, it's kind of just hammered down with the crate deal, and I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. It's all racing, but that sprint car deal.
What do you think of that rig?
That's going to help out a lot.
No crap.
We needed that when the sprint cars were here.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
We needed that a long time ago.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. But isn't that nice? I mean, look at that thing.
Enough, so.
That water truck, it will do beautiful.
It is.
Even intermission to be able to do things and spot, it's going to be a whole lot better.
Logan was very excited about it. So
hopefully we get to a point where, after, get races on it, it gets smooth. You get a little moisture on the bottom. You get something on the top. You get some good racing, two lanes.
Takes a little while. So
this early in the years, you never know what you get sometimes.
Yeah. So. Oh, exactly. And I mean, it didn't get rough. No. I think, like the heat race, I mean, me and Josh ran door to door. And, I mean, I kept blowing it underneath him, and he knew it. I mean, we got out and laughed about it. I mean, I told him, I said, if it was anybody else, I probably would have ripped your quarter panel off because we were that close. Like, not on purpose, but I got that close to you that it was pretty hairy.
Right.
So
it's fun to watch. So,
well,
tell you what, anybody you want to thank?
Oh, just everybody that stands behind me. I got a lot of sponsors that try to help me, but I really don't race one thing, it's more my wife, putting up with me and everything I do. I mean, she's a nurse, and she's gone 4 days a week, which lets me have a lot of free time to do the race car deal, and she loves it probably more than I do. I have a ball having a 2-year-old now.
Yep.
So I kind of she went trucking for the first time here the other day. I took her trucking in Grandpa's truck, and we were just going to do one short load. Well, we were gone for like 4.5 hours. So
well, that's the thing, hey, Dad, get well. That's a
my dad's
soon,
a huge part of everything that I've ever done. Even like Kyle's deal coming here last week, he went through the valves to make sure everything was right, and it's going to be hard. I mean, I'm capable of doing it, but it's one more thing that I'm going to have to start doing. I've set valves before, but my dad was always my go-to guy that I trusted. And, I mean, we fought, and we love each other, and it's went both ways. So
it works. Yeah, I know.
That's right.
Yep.
So, all right.
Tell you what, Josh, hey, have fun tonight.
It's always a good interview, Josh. Thanks for coming up here.
Really appreciate it.
Okay.
Tell you what, race fans, I think we're logged back in here, so we're going to take another commercial break. We'll be right back with you.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in today to apply for an account, loan, or credit card. Malvern Bank, we build community. Member FDIC, equal.
Furniture, appliances, mattress sets, lift chairs, bedding, recliners, and more. S&S Appliance, your hometown furniture store in Clarinda, just received a large shipment of appliances. They have a huge selection of stoves, refrigerators, chest freezers, and microwaves. And if you need a mattress set, they have them. Plus bamboo sheet sets. They offer full service from start to finish with competitive price guarantee. S&S
Race fans, the Pit Side live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa, and we are moving into close to the second half of the show here, and got another guest here on the show here. He's got his cutoff, he's got his guns showing out here for us on YouTube. So a guy that pretty much walked the dog last week in his feature, old Candyman Wiggy Jeff Wiggins. What's up, man?
Not much, just trying to come back here and see what happens again tonight.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't even think you could have ran the worst line possible and that thing would have turned.
Well, we were pretty loose. The last couple laps when that caution come out, I go, man, I can feel it. I just got to do a little more throttle control because I knew I was getting a little bit looser out there, but it worked out. What the hell?
Were you worried at all at the end of the race if somebody was going to come up and poke the nose? Or
Well, before I went out, I told Gar, I said, okay, I'm going to look up at you under caution, tell me where I'm at,
Right.
And all I got was one of these, little clap. So that doesn't tell me crap.
Well, Gar's that old. He's just that old man out there, old grumpy man.
All I got was good job. I didn't know really if I was, so I had to keep driving.
No, it was good job.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know. Anyway, it worked out.
Well, we were looking at lap times, and I vividly remember a lot of lap times, and comparing tracks and comparing from last year, and that was one of the quicker lap times we had all year. I mean, when you get sub 23,
I knew I felt great in the heat, and we really didn't change too much to the feature. I thought the track kind of got when the stock cars were out there, it was kind of getting slick, but the hobbies kind of went out, and maybe some moisture was coming up, but they tore it up a little more too.
Typically, those hobby stocks, and that's one thing that Logan's learned a little bit from Mike up at Stewart is those prime wheels, those street tires. They rip the track up a little bit more, and it makes it a little bit better race for the modifieds. That's why we try to run hobbies always before mods.
Well, I could tell that. I go, that's going to be, it's going to have some grip in it. But actually, when I went out there, I thought it was faster because I thought it did get ripped up a little bit.
Right, it does, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, like drag racing people kind of know that because if you go to a drag race, sometimes they'll have a separate lane for street tires and separate lane for slicks, and it's because something about street tires. It always picks up that rubber, so
right.
And they got a good car count, so there's a lot of cars out there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a difference. Well, off season, I'm sure you were chomping at the bit, ready to go. You've raced a couple times before that.
Yeah, we've raced. This will be our fourth tonight.
So tell the listeners a little bit about how your weekend went last weekend. I was up at Stewart, and that was an eventful night.
Yeah, I had it planned because I wanted to go to Stewart, and I made Gar and Colton, so we're going to go to this race.
Did you hear that? Made them go.
So we're going to this race. And I was kind of laughing, but so we went to the race, and every time you go out, there's a little bit different. And it's just I haven't got it figured out yet, but I want to go to it. And
right.
And my heat was freaking stacked.
Well, you had shoot right behind you. I mean, you go up there. I mean, it's yeah.
Well, I knew I think Tom Berry was.
Tom Berry's was back there too.
It's like okay, well, you got to go, and you can't dick around, So, and I thought it was going to hook up, and it was just like ice skates. When I got on, it was nothing there. It's like, oh no. So
he spun out in front of the whole field, and Todd kind of T-boned you, but it wasn't bad though.
Right.
But what happened though?
It kind of, I think, backed some to oil. Maybe, well, I know it was oil because it backed the oil up through, caught fire, and kind of just ruined my.
Literally on fire, race fans.
Ruined my air filter, but kind of. What do you call that? The air filter cover was burning, and so it was on fire for a couple minutes, but really nothing happened.
I was so curious because the guy, the track official, went out there and was spraying it. And I thought he was spraying it just from a backfire or something, but no, you were literally on fire.
Yep, it was going. I even come off, pushed it off, and they took it off, and it was still burning down there. So
we were watching the live stream, and you couldn't see any like fire. We thought you accidentally pulled your fire extinguisher thing.
Oh,
and we were like,
well, the guy come down there and says, "Don't put much on if you're going to do it. Don't put much on." Because
anyway. don't ruin your motor.
We saw that guy come up. We're like, okay, there must actually be something on fire.
So. I don't know. I've seen Colton blowing it off. He didn't put much on, but Colton was blowing it off the air gun later, and it just kind of went away. So
the good thing was though, is you were able to get a new air filter on. The car was okay.
Yeah.
And you actually went out for the feature and didn't look too bad.
They said I didn't look too bad. I still felt I was horribly loose and on ice skates again. It was all straight throttle control, and I didn't have much. But
so did you change much from Friday to Saturday? Did you guys change
through the race out? Didn't even worry about the race. Track's totally different. Didn't even care.
Right.
Just wanted to go. I mean, they don't have 2,000, 2,100 to win that. Would they have 18 cars?
Yeah.
So that's. And that was the only mods I think, in the state of Iowa racing. So that was kind of depressing. That kind of money and nobody there.
It was. Yeah. And you came down here, man, and you were good at the end of the year last year. There those last couple of races. You knocked up a couple wins, but last year was kind of an up and down struggle. It was all over the place, and you were having some bad luck, and I don't know, man. Something on that car is just...
Yeah, we kind of hit it, I think, at the end of August. I think Clint kept looking through the book and says, I think I know what we're going to do this time, and you try different stuff, and we've never changed it since. Like that in the off
I
season.
wouldn't
We
change
got
it.
out of the box this year and was fast at Harlan. Felt okay at Stewart, but I didn't have much. But at least I didn't get
Stewart's
tore up.
just different.
Yeah, and I've drawn good, so
Right.
I've had everything go good so far. So
And it's something where I talked to Chubbs this week about it too, and Chubbs is like, man, Lee's going to be tough to beat this year.
yeah, I mean it's a good car right now.
So I think anybody could get in that.
Just need some more people here. Need
I
some
think
more cars.
Exactly. And when it comes to your teammate, Gar's son Colton, he's still learning too. But those cars are identical, correct?
I'm pretty sure they're almost yeah, they're pretty much identical. Yeah.
And it's just so weird though how different driving style makes a difference.
Yep.
You have to match your setup to your driving style, and I'm just saying
it's a lot of seat time.
I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. Well,
Now, are those two rage cars or are they precision cars?
yeah.
Sometimes it's hard.
They
to
are
tell.
rages.
Yeah.
Okay, they are.
It's
okay.
a rage by precision. Mine
Right.
is.
Okay,
Mine
yeah.
is. So I think actually, I got the last rage car that Andy sold over there. Andy Records. That's
Okay.
the last one that he got. Now
This was before
Performance.
Andy went
Yeah.
on his own.
Yeah.
So, because you guys bought that during their transition period when Andy went on his own.
Yeah. Yep.
And and they're both, what year are they?
Mine's a 23, and I think Colton's might be a 21 or 2.
Okay, so
Something like
he's
that,
a little bit older.
Yeah.
So, throughout the year, obviously, plan to race here. I know you're a guy that likes to try different things and go different places. Sometimes it's hard to get Gar to do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody's busy. That's
I know.
the problem.
And see, Gar runs his own business,
Yeah,
so it's
everybody's busy, and then he's
Colton's
got,
busy at work too.
Yes,
So
it's and it gets 100 degrees. I don't want to do much either. I mean, really.
You were sweating at the 83 degrees
Yeah.
that it is today.
I got this on.
Yeah.
I know. I know Colton. I sent Colton some pictures of our new flag stand. So did you see that wrap flag stand? You see it?
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah.
So we put that on there. Just we're really appreciative of Titan, man. There's not a lot of dealerships that'll bring you a brand new case and just let you use it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
we
I think it's worked out pretty good.
Oh God, if we didn't have that tractor, I don't know what we would do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so nice to come down here during the week when it's hot out. And you can get in that tractor, crank the air conditioning, turn on the Bluetooth, and just watch YouTube videos or just listen to music. It's like it's not even like you're working. You're just out there for
Sounds like you're an auto steer out there.
It's so nice, and we're always really appreciative of Titan Machinery, and also your crew chief Gar has his own business too, and he does really good business there too. But how's your deal coming along? How's your candy bar?
Candy
deal going?
bars, yeah. It's just hard to get people to spend money right now. Everything's tight.
I know it
that's
is.
an idea. Then you raise prices and
Inflation's, man, it sucks.
freaking killing everybody. But that's you got to do it or you won't be
For
around.
those of you that don't know, he does a vending machine deal, so that's why he's.
Different. If
you
like
probably
coconut,
mixed it with
but-
some, didn't you?
No, actually I didn't. That was kind of a fail. Probably should have. But
Yeah.
No, it's I'm just really happy to see you doing well. You had some bad luck last year, and you're just a good guy to talk to. You guys have a great time down there. You're always a good pit to go to after to BS with and have fun. So, I know you got other things going on, but we appreciate all the support through the racetrack through the years. I mean, you've been racing here for God knows how long.
God, I'd asked him. I think was it 19 years? I don't
19
even know.
years now?
Yeah, I'm not for sure how long we've been.
And I remember when you first started. When I was
surely
younger.
not 19. I don't know, but it's been a while.
And you were one of those guys that it's just kind of up and down.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, man, I don't know what it is, but you're the guy to beat out there right now.
Oh, one night, come on.
I'm just saying.
I told you the draw was good.
You looked that good.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen Chubbs when you're out front? He just walks the dog on you.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean,
A lot,
there was nobody catching you.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean,
Did you go back and watch any videos of
I
it?
did. Yeah, car was good. I didn't let up.
He was almost full straightaway ahead at one time.
Yeah, I didn't let up. I wanted to keep pressing, but it sucks out front. You don't know where you're at. Really, it's hard to do. But I guess when you win, you got to be out front. So what do you do?
Well, nobody was beating you into the corners, that's for sure. I don't think you'll find anybody that'll drive into the corners harder than Jeff. It's fun to watch.
You are a masher into the corner. You you take advantage of that side bite quite a bit.
We'll
so.
see how slick it is tonight, though, guys. We'll see.
Well, we did have 2.5 inches of rain on Monday, so there is some moisture.
There's no water
underneath.
down there, though, in the corner, is there?
We got it out the best we could.
Did
so we're really trying, and that's one thing we're going to work on here in the next couple weeks. We're going to try to dig out some of that thing on the bottom so that water doesn't sit there so much. That's one of the things on the list. But
They have some war trenches down there.
Well, we are at the top of the hour, Race fans. You are listening to KCSI 95.3 radio out of Red Oak. We're here with Jeff Wiggins. And, Jeff, before we get you out of here, I know you've got your sponsors written here on a pizza box. So
yeah, I got to get these. I didn't say any of the names hardly, but I got to get all these names out here. I got. I want to.
How do you read that?
You scribble your own writing. You know how it goes. I got McMorran Lawn Services. I thank Rod for always helping me out through the years. Griswold Quest and J.D. Wyman Motorsports. They've always helped us out ever since we started. Greenfield Laundromat, Swartz Farms, Southern Iowa Vending. I got some other farmers that's always donated or helped us out, and that's Scroggs Farms, Kinsella Farms, and Walder Farms. And I got to thank Garside Auto Body and my rap. He's done a hell of a job, man, throughout the years. And
that's who Dre learned from.
We just always come up with something good, and I can't thank Matt Witchman.
You've won Best Appearing Car a lot.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he's done a great job on my car, and I just need to thank him, actually, because I get a lot of props, and it's actually his artwork that does this.
Yep.
So
that's right.
Thank him.
And Dre with Underdog, that's who Dre started. People that don't know this, Dre started with Matt, and that's who Dre learned from was Matt.
Yeah.
And Matt kind of slowed down with it now that he has kids and all that stuff, and Dre really ramped up with it, and they spitball ideas off of each other all the time. They always work together, but it's not a miss again this year.
Right.
Break you off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Huh?
He had a couple that he wanted. He showed, and this just kind of let's do it. It's not really let's try to make a plan up. It's like draw something up. I kind of this and
you're
that.
back in your usual color. You've been red a lot.
Yeah.
So
red, green.
I remember that back in the day. It was always red and white. It seemed like so.
Yep.
And I know the one year, I think my favorite one ever, though, was last year's.
Yeah. Like that one?
Oh, man, that thing was awesome.
Gar showed me one hell of a design he did, and you can't see it. It almost needs to be on the track, but he had a design I think he made up, and I'm not going to say this is right, but I think it's right, that one side was Doritos and the other side was Cool Ranch, so it was blue
and red.
The nacho.
The nacho, yeah.
So it was actually kind of cool. But
the Oreo one was really good, too, that one year. So
he's done a hell of a job for it. I mean, he's always come up with a great design.
Yeah, Matt does a good job. So and Matt's got quite a few cars down here, and all of them look really good. Yeah. So, well, Wiggy, we'll get you out of here. I know driver's meeting is in 15 minutes, and I know you haven't been to enough of those in your life. So
I'm sure I'll make it tonight.
Well, hopefully transponder loop goes good. We actually accidentally ripped the transponder loop out this morning, so we had to rebury it.
Wow.
So there might be a little bit of a hump right there, but just going to have to deal with it tonight.
Yeah,
so,
I see they ripped it up again a little bit. So.
Yeah, we're trying to best we can because Mother Nature was not nice to us last year, and lightning struck it.
We're probably going to, after next week, shut it off, and it's going to be drier than heck and 100. What do you think?
Probably. We're out of water, so. All right, well, we'll get you out of here, and we'll get you on your way, and good luck tonight. I know you're going to have to pass some cars tonight.
That's going to happen. We're going to do it, I hope.
All right, race fans, that was Jeff Wiggins, driver of the 36T. You want to try to get this going? If not, we might have to refresh it, so try it really quick. Yep, oh, nope, we're good. Perfect.
This is Josh with Shore Motor Company in Clarinda. We want to be your GM dealer. We have highly qualified and trained technicians ready to work on your vehicle. Anything from recalls to warranty work and beyond, we are your GM dealer. Our service department is open 6 days a week for all your service needs. We even have an express lane for those no-appointment quick oil changes. Visit our website at shoremotor.com to request an appointment or give Mike or Amanda a call at 712-542-6581. We are your GM dealer. Shore Motor Company, just south of the square in beautiful Clarinda.
Just as your local State Farm agent teams combine good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home and auto. And guess what you get? That's right, good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. This is your local State Farm agent, Dave Carball, and we promise to deliver the service you deserve at the price you want. My State Farm team will help you mix and match things perfectly. Call us today at 712-623-5639 for your surprisingly great rates. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Too busy at work to wait in a long line at Subway? Order online at order.subway.com. Simply register with your email and password and order away. You can also download the Subway app on your smartphone. Order up to 6 subs, salads, or pizza. Ready in 15 minutes once order is submitted. Also add chips, cookies, and drinks easily. And Subway's back to normal hours Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Order online at Subway in Red Oak, Clarinda, Shenandoah. Best Finish Auto Sales and Service is proud of the quality used vehicles they sell and their dedication to serve the needs of their customers. Whether it's your first purchase or one of many that you've had, you can count on their dedicated sales staff to make the best buying experience possible. They also offer financing on your vehicle purchase. Best Finish can also take care of your service needs, from oil change, brakes, alignment, air conditioning, to any body shop and repair needs. Stop by Best Finish Auto Sales and Service at 209 Sharp Street in Glenwood for all of your vehicle needs.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pitside Live here at Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. We're getting down here to about the white flag of the show. So, final guest of the night is our hobby stock most improved driver last year and our feature winner last year. This is Buddy Heidzik, a.k.a. Luke Ramsey. Welcome to the show.
Well, at least you didn't call me Jared, I guess. So I guess I got one up on Luke, don't I?
Yeah, I remember that 2 years ago. Do you remember that when I called Luke Jared Lund?
I don't.
That was at the that was at the banquet.
Oh.
So, and then Luke looks at me. He's like, "What'd you say?" So, but no. I was telling Sam right there in Victory Lane. I was like, that was by far, in my opinion, your most impressive win you've ever had.
That was one of the ones I worked the hardest for, and I figured it out Tuesday night when we started getting the car ready to maybe race Stewart. I had a bolt come loose on the upper A arm, and the other one was gone. And I told Luke, I says, I couldn't figure out what happened to the car. I fought it the last half of the race, and and then we see that, and it's like, well, it was nice to know that.
It's nice to know that it wasn't you.
Yeah, I figured it was me, and then I seen that. I said, well, maybe this week will be better.
I know Cole and I were talking about it too, and we were announcing. I mean, you probably went back and watched the video, but it was a literal pack of wolves behind you.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, Adam was going with Tyler Gray. They were going back and forth, and the way Adam Hensel's been, man, it's really hard to hold him off. And that's the best I've ever seen Tyler Gray look. Even when Tyler won his race that last year, that's the best I've ever seen him look too.
Yeah, he looks a lot better.
So, but again, you held him off, and I'm sure you were worn out.
Yeah, all the time we spent just getting the car, with the new rules, trying, with the ride height. I mean, I spent like 3 days just trying to get it. You think you get it, and then you go back and check it when the car settles. And we went and raced Marshalltown with it and put the long track setup in that we got. And Dave Brennan checked it, and he says, "Well, you need to change it." And I'm like, "What?" So I walked half a mile back up there at the tape measure I'd been using to see, make sure that we was all on the same page, and went back to the drawing board.
Did they tech that again last week?
I think so. I think that's what it did on the scales when we pulled across the heat.
Yeah,
race, so.
I saw a tape measure on the scales, but I didn't know. But talk a little bit about that with these race fans. what IMCA made changes this year, and obviously we
Right.
we run IMCA rules, and we were debating on whether to go with it or not. Like, we want to go with it because we don't want to have to worry about.
It makes it easier
Right.
for the racer. I mean,
So, but what exactly is the change?
Well, when we scaled it, to see where we were before we started, and then we measured it. And on my left front, I was like 6 1/4. In my right rear, I was 9 1/2. Well, so then I had to bring the front up, the back
Right.
down, and then you go, okay, well that's all right. Well then there's no bite in the car. Well then you got to try to figure out how to get the bite in the car, because the setup Luke's taught me on is a real tight car, and to get that it was a pain.
Right. And you even know on iRacing, all that stuff, it's hard to get it to where you're right on the edge, and
Right.
you don't want to be illegal, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's been hard for a lot of guys. It's been really hard with these stock car guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, my roommate, John Kinzer, he was coming home every night. This stupid rule, oh my gosh, I hate that. I mean, he was struggling to get his car in that window, and finally got it there.
Race car
But, yeah,
drivers
it's-
don't do well with change. I don't know if you know that, but
And it's a lot easier when you're a little smaller guy. It's a lot easier, but when you start getting bigger, I tell you what, it's hard on that left side to get it up.
I'm sure. And even with the hobby stocks, I've learned when I was younger helping Tanner out, there is no bite in those things.
No.
I mean, it's so hard to find right rear bite anywhere.
Yeah.
And now with this ride high rule, I don't know how you do it.
I spent 3 days doing it.
It's got to be hard because for the racers that don't know, obviously it's a hobby stock. You can't put lead in it. It's illegal to put lead in it. In a stock car, you can put lead. In a hobby stock, you can't. So it's like, what do I do? Shock, spring, that's about
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Tire
your shocks
pressure.
and your springs, and your tire pressures. We changed our lower ball joints. I had to do that because
Right.
and I don't have the weight jacks. Weight jacks, I mean, that helps tremendously. But
One thing I've learned though with the hobby stock helping Tanner throughout the years is it's incredible how much shocks make a difference in a hobby stock. I mean, I feel like if you're running the right shocks and you're running the right package, it's going to make a huge difference.
Yep. Yeah. It does. I mean, and I got lucky when I started out. Luke had already spent all that time figuring out what setup worked, and then I just had to learn how to drive it. And it took a little bit to figure it out. But then once I've figured it out now, I mean, it's a lot easier. But I was really worried coming into last week. What's the car going to do? I didn't have any idea. I mean, I wasn't gonna, if they had practice, I thought about coming just to see, but even then, it's still not a race, so it's it's hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the beauty of the hobby stock class is, I mean, obviously there is a lot of stuff you can do to it, but compared to these other cars, really not much you can do.
You're limited. You're very
so,
limited.
And I think that's why we see so much good racing is because it comes down to the driver, really. I mean, you're only going to get so much bite, and if the track's slick, I mean, I honestly, there's times I'm like, man, I think every class.
It also makes for better racing, too.
The hobby stocks, man, and I tell the fans here that show up every week, it's like you get people that leave early and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know what you're I mean, you paid to get in and you're missing the best race coming up. So I know I watch a lot of races at a lot of racetracks, and in my opinion, hobby stock racing there is not a better hobby stock race than right here. Because you get to a lot of those smaller racetracks, and it's just one lane around the bottom. It's just ring around the rosy because there's not enough horsepower, not enough tire.
Right. I mean, I've raced Stewart and I've raced Boone, and I mean it's a different show, and I mean you kind of just fall in line. I mean,
right.
Not always, but usually it's just follow the leader, and that's how it goes. And
wait for somebody in front of you to mess up.
Yeah, which is hard to do. I mean, here you don't. You got a chance. You can
run different lines. You can run the bottom. You can run the top. You can run the middle. And I feel like I don't know what it is, but hobby stock is such a momentum car, and this is a momentum track, and it just goes hand in hand. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's like a perfect combination. It's the same way with the compacts, though. Too honestly, it's like compact racing here is so much different than anywhere else because they're actually getting up to speed.
Yeah,
and they can actually race.
Yeah, you're moving a lot faster in a compact here than you are anywhere else. That's for sure.
So
you talk about that momentum, and I mean that's a huge deal, getting all that speed down the straightaway. I mean, last week you were starting to kind of use that line we would always see Luke run, where you come in, diamond it off, and then get a huge run down the banking, and that's huge here. I mean,
Adam Hensel has that down to a T.
Yeah, I mean, that can be the difference between you making a pass or getting past is a little slip of the tires off the corner.
Yep. So tell me a little bit, buddy, about some differences now from when you first started. I mean, it seems like to me now you have so much confidence out there. Like, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly where to run. I mean, you've had enough laps on this place now that you know exactly what to do.
Right. I think what's helped the most is that Luke make me go up and run Stewart. I mean, you're just in the traffic all the time. So when that car's beside you, it doesn't bother you. But
right.
Before, you know, you kind of, you tense up and you're like, I don't, you know. But after running Stewart, you know, it's easier.
Well, I've told Tanner, I've told everybody, it's like you're never going to get super good just racing one racetrack. You have to go different places, and you have to see different driving styles, and it makes you more comfortable because Corning is way different than anything else. It's a lot more spread out. It's a lot more speed, so it's like it's more of you and nobody else. When you get to Stewart, I mean, you are on top of
You're
everybody.
worrying about where you are, the guy beside you on both sides, the guy behind in front of you. I mean, you don't have time to think. You have to just have to start learning instinct.
And Corning, you have time to think a little bit down the straightaways. So.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, Luke's comment is, you know, he can smoke a whole cigarette down the front stretch and then light one up on the back stretch and do that too, which, you know, I mean, when you get that much comfortable in the car, I mean, it's easy to do.
Well, the funny joke was on Thursday night, we were talking to Chubbs, and Chubbs hops in his stock car. You know, he's like, man, you got so much room for activities in here because he's used to being in a modified.
Right.
And he's like, I'm thinking about putting a George Foreman in right there so we could go down the front stretch. And we had that little hump there from the loop. He's like, every 23 seconds, the burger's going to flip automatically from that hump.
Well, at least he's thinking ahead. Wouldn't have to flip it.
He gets in and he's like stretching his arms out. Yeah. You know, he's like, man, this is nice because, you know, in a modified, you're just like so packed in there. He's like, I ain't worried. If I catch on fire in this thing, I got like 7 different exits.
Right.
So, but no, that's one person I'm excited to see run against Luke this year. Brad, Chubbs, and Luke are going to put on a show this year.
Yep.
Those three are going to be, well, even last week, I mean, all three of them were up front, and it's going to be a battle all year long.
Yeah, I mean, I got to watch 3 and 4, but I didn't get to see much else of the race. But
at least you get to watch it. Some night maybe Logan will change the order and you'll be able to be. But usually we like to run hobbies before mods because the hobbies tear the track up nice for the modifieds. Yep. So, but well, we'll get you out of here really quick. But who are some people you want to thank here?
Oh, I got to thank Luke and Sam for letting me run the car, and then LS Race Cars, the car we bought. Hopefully it doesn't sell, but if it sells, I guess I'll be trying to figure out what I'm doing the rest of the year. But I'll worry about that when I get that far. Brandon Salvage, Murphy Family Farms, Dynamic Drivelines, Chris Hogan, Finish Line Designs, Don's Body Shop, O'Grady Farms, Swartz Plumbing, Napa Auto Parts in Creston, Hewlett and Sons Auto Salvage, Radine Derscheid, Hawkeye Auto Salvage, True Farms, Darla's Dirt Fix Photos, O'Reilly Oil Company, TC Fabrication, Davison and Sons, Dally Post Saloon, Barron's Ags, Harry's Law Office, Goodson Family, Alan and Lori Goodson, Tri-County Vet, Underdog Design for the wrap, and Toll Farms.
Thank God we got some stickers on there this week so we can read it.
You probably will still screw up. Just don't call me Toll. I don't want him to think he's fast.
No, you'll probably get teched and get DQ'd.
But LT Farms, and then Schaefer Oil by Dennis Elliott. So.
Hey, we got a slight upgrade on the list. Wiggy was up here. He had his on a piece of pizza box. So he's got.
This is my wrap.
The backing on the wrap. So, yeah, we're upgrading around.
It's always funny to see what some of the race car drivers come up here and what they have their sponsors written on.
Sam had a really nice one last year, but I don't know where it's at. So I just kind of throw it together.
What we need, I'll talk to Madison on Monday at school. I'll just be like, hey, make a sponsor up for these guys, and I'll go take it to the teacher den, and we'll have it laminated for them.
Yeah, well then you still got to know where it's at.
Yeah.
What good's it do to laminate if I don't know where she puts it or I put it?
So.
Well, really quick, I got to thank you too. You got my dog Zoe dialed in on some medication last week, and I think it seems like she's doing better. You know, my dog, she's a little old, struggles with arthritis.
People that don't know, his dad's a vet in Lennox. How much longer is he going to do it?
Well, I don't know. If I remember right, he graduated in '73 from vet school. So,
your mom and dad, man, they've been sold the bowling alley, so they've slowed down a little bit. But they're still all guns.
Yeah.
Well, they got all the grandkids now,
and that's what I've noticed this last year is they've made a lot more games than they did the year before. But they don't have the free time. But
your daughter did really well yesterday in the old elementary track meet. So she was flying. You got an athlete in her. I'll tell you that.
Well, we'll see. As long as her attitude doesn't sour, we'll be all right.
She's not Luke's kid.
No, thank God. Jesus.
The twins, man, I tell you. You should see them. It's so funny.
Sorry for you guys.
They come in from recess and they've got dirt all over the face. I'm like, what'd you do? Oh, we were rolling around in the mud. I'm like, shocker.
Yeah. I heard that.
All right, well, we'll get you out of here and good luck tonight. And I'm gonna have to pass some cars tonight.
Yeah, I gotta if I qualify, I'm gonna start 12. So
yeah, all right.
Alrighty.
All right, race fans, of the driver of the 16 car, Buddy Heidzik. He's going to look for 2 in a row. So we're going to take one more quick break. We'll be right back with you here on Pitside Live.
What if we could harness the power of the sun by using the earth to transform the way we use energy? Water furnace geothermal systems are simply the most efficient way to keep your family comfortable. Winter or summer, day or night, rain or shine, without burning fossil fuels. Giving you the freedom to focus on life.
Call Camlin Mechanical or visit camlinmechanical.com for your water furnace needs today.
Are you interested in starting a career instead of just getting another job? Well, hop on over to Fresco System USA and let us help you find the one for you. We offer competitive wages, benefits starting day one, and so much more. You can pick up an application at 2026 Fernwood Avenue, find us on Indeed, Better Team, and Facebook, or call 712-623-8100, extension 6659. Spring into action and join the Fresco team today.
No matter what your insulation needs are, Heartland Foam Insulators is your go-to company. From removal to blow-in to foam, they are ready to go to work for you in any type of building, whether it be an existing house, new construction, a metal building, commercial building, or a unique project. Call Heartland Foam Insulators today at 712-623-4515 or heartlandfoam.com.
Since 1892, Malvern Bank has been building community from 404 Main Street in Malvern, Iowa. For generations, Malvern Bank has been serving local businesses, families, and farms to help them achieve their goals in every step of their lives. From saving for college to planning for retirement and everything in between, Malvern Bank is your full-service community bank, here to help as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Call, click, or stop in.
One more.
Since 1892,
Welcome back to Pitside Live here on Adams County Speedway in Corning, Iowa. We're heading down here to the checkered flag in the last few minutes of the radio show. Once again, a big thank you to Heartland, Shore Motor Company, Malvern State Bank, Farm Bureau, Subway, Fresco System, State Farm, S&S Appliance, Brower Home Improvement, Aiken Lumber right here, Corning, Barrett Auto, Camel Mechanical, Best Finish Auto in Glenwood. Thank you very much for being part of the KCSI radio family and helping sponsor our race show here at Pitside Live. Also our YouTube channel through KCSI. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell you what, guys, we're about ready to round up things. Had some great interviews tonight. Thank you very much to Josh Most, the Candy Man, and good old Buddy.
Yeah,
those were some of the best interviews I think we've ever had.
That was a great lineup. You know, like all of our racers do well, but there's some guys that aren't
the most talkative in the world.
Yeah, they're not crazy about the interviews, but man, those are three guys that will give you a lot of insight. I always enjoy when Josh comes up here. He has a lot of great insight. I mean, it's just like what we talked about. He's driven everything there is to drive in dirt, so he has a lot of stories to tell. So
and then tonight again is Owens Collision Center out of Clarinda. They couldn't make it up, but he wanted me to make sure to mention that they've been open since 2015. They have moved to a larger location in Clarinda. They used to be down in College Springs. Now they're in Clarinda.
We changed our sign out front. So
yes, we did. We got the address corrected
got
for him.
Got the vinyl updated up there. So
they offer full-service mechanical work such as oil changes, tires, brakes, routine maintenance, and more. They also offer full-service auto body work such as collision, hail damage, rust repair, glass replacement. They work with all insurance companies, and they're one of the few shops around that still do complete restorations. They have a great staff. They do get the job done quickly as possible and with quality results. They have free estimates, and you can always give Todd a call, Todd Owens, at 712-542-7529. They're located in Clarinda, Iowa. It's great to have him as a sponsor. Congratulations to his son last week for winning the compacts. I know that was a fun deal for him, and I know they got that. You can't miss them down here in the pits either. They got that open rig that's like a
skyscraper.
40-foot
they
tall.
They also post things for sale on Facebook Marketplace sometimes too. I think they've got just like cheaper vehicles that have been worked on. Something happened to them, and just like a good starter car for high school kids and things like that. So, but I do want to apologize, race fans, about the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to make some phone calls this week on the Wi-Fi issue we've got going on here. So. We're gonna have to come up with a better solution. For some reason this year so far, it doesn't seem like we have a strong enough connection. So, unfortunately, the YouTube channel has been kicking in and out all night long. So we apologize for that, but hopefully you can still go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I watched it last week, and it seems like when you rewatch it, it's fine. It's the live feed.
I think it's just a live, but. Yeah, we'll hopefully get some things ironed out. Maybe have to run an Ethernet cord in here or something.
Was there any other questions we had tonight?
John Berg made some comments, which I really appreciated. That talked about Josh most, and he was giving you crap. Said that we need to make sure that we're on Mother Nature's good grace, and and
I'll get right on that.
Crystal Standby made a comment that we could turn it up at the racetrack a little bit. We turned her up just a little bit, so it's just something where. We got to work out the kinks too, but we do appreciate all the listeners out there. I know a lot of people do go back and watch it throughout the week. I think last week we had almost 700 viewers. So
my mom, your grandma. We got to advise her to start texting and stop calling. While
we're
doing the show.
calling during the show. So
well, I know Tyler Schaefer was watching on there. I got some funny Snapchats. His girlfriend Sarah was. Sending some funny pictures, her freaking out that I was on the TV.
Now that Zach is a subscriber, he can comment now. So I didn't realize
that's
race
Tyler.
fans. Tyler, not Zach.
There's a million Schaefers around here.
So I didn't know that, race fans. So if you do want to comment, you have to be a subscriber for at least 24 hours prior.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. So,
please do that.
Stop the spam posts and things like that.
Well, that's good, but that's good to let the people know to please do.
Yeah,
we love the
thanks
questions.
for Tyler. Letting us know that.
Please do that. Hopefully everybody's rewatching this thing in the future. They can do that early, because we love the questions. That's
race fans, we've got 80 cars checked into the Adams County Speedway. That's always my goal number to have. There's a lot of stuff going on right now around the area. We've got graduations going on. End of the school year's going on, so farming's still going on full force right now. So we're really happy with the car count what we got.
I mean, car counts have been a little low all week at every track. I think a lot of guys that kind of hop around track to track, they're kind of saving their cars for this big money show this week too. I know Marshalltown was a little low last night, especially in the B mods. Just guys getting ready for that race. So,
and
80 solid.
For those of you that don't know what that race is, it's a place that I've wanted to go to for years. I just can't. It's just a long ways away from home, Clay County. They're running it's the $150,000 challenge, $250,000 challenge.
Yeah.
It's $25,000 to win for sport mods and for stock cars, correct?
And let me tell you, the names that are signed up in the stock cars.
And I'll tell you what, race fans, $25,000 in a sport mod, that is a chunk of change.
My understanding, you also had to pre-enter for that thing.
Yes.
Way early, I believe.
So Yeah, I saw Ricky Thornton posted his stock car, and
Yep, Ricky Thornton's running a Grabowski stock car. So
I did find it funny. There were some people saying, "Oh, here he comes, going to take the money from the small guys." I'm like, half the stock cars in that field are going to roll out of a toter home anyway.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Small guys, So
it makes better racing.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
So I'll tell you what, folks, like we said, it's Owen Restoration, Collision Restoration tonight. Thank you very much for being here, being on the show. Make sure you come out after you're not already here. Going to be some great live racings. Next week is another big night. It will be Salute to Veterans Night. Proud to Serve is what we're calling it. Proud to Serve is sponsored by Budweiser. Our veterans, active military and retired former military, will be getting in free. So make sure you come up next week for Memorial Day weekend. We also will be doing 50-50 in honor of Deputy Kepi. So
we've also got 50-50 next week, race fans. We've got 2 Iowa Speedway tickets, Sunday tickets to give away.
Good chance we'll be doing that next week. So we're gonna do, so
that's a big time 50-50 prize right there.
Yeah, Iowa Corn is got 2 tickets for us to give away. So we're going to be looking at doing that next week as well.
And for those that don't know, that those tickets are almost impossible to get.
Yep, sold out.
It's sold out.
So on behalf of here at Pitside Live, Evan Baldwin, Cole Hendrickson, thank you guys for tuning in.